Lovely. Okay. Good. So good morning. Good morning. We're going to start seated. So it can be a stool or a chair with a back to it, which can be quite handy. But something that allows you to sit with 90-90 angles at hips and feet and knees is really good. And we can start seated, having a little shake off. That's it. So sitting lovely and tall. So your feet are in parallel and you're on your sitting bones. So that might mean if I have the back of a chair, you're more in the middle of your chair. Because if we sit back, we tend to lean into the back of the chair, which tilts our pelvis and shortens our psoas a little bit, but changes our position. So we're going to sit lovely and tall, feet in parallel. And the first thing we're going to do is going to find that tall position. So you're going to flip your palms and turn your hands up, palm of your hands up, and press the back of the hands into the thighs. And you'll notice yourself find a little bit of length. You want to let your shoulders drop away from your ears. So you've got this sense of pressing down to grow tall through the spine, from the sitting bones to the crown of the head. And we want to keep this press and hold this position, but not hold your breath. So pressing down into the back of the hands, into the thighs, keep length, width through collarbones. Imagine your spine growing tall. You might slightly tuck your chin back. And you're just going to take 3 big deep breaths here. In through the nose. Exhale, soften out through the mouth. But keep the length, keep the press. Inhale. And exhale. So you're pressing down into the hands. Elbows go wide, collarbones wide. One more. Inhale. And exhale. And then you let go. Just want to let your body react as you let go of the arms and the shoulders. Fabulous. So then from here, I'm going to start to tilt your pelvis, your 12 and 6, on your chair. So you'll come off the back of your sitting bones and then onto your sitting bones a little bit. And the rest of your body might respond. That would make sense. But you want to imagine it's your pelvis doing 12 and 6. And your hands can rest on your knees. Nice and easy. And it feels like you're doing a bit of a gentle cat-cow. And you can take that a little bit further if it's comfortable to do so. So you're just tilting 12 and 6. Because we get to roll on the sitting bones on the chair. Very squeaky and creaky. That's it. Good. And then we come through to neutral again. Nice. So sitting nice and tall, we're going to then bring your hands across your chest. We inhale to lengthen and exhale and rotate around to your right. So your gaze stays over the cross on your chest and it's just your thoracic turning. So your head stays kind of with your shoulders. Inhale here, looking to the right. Exhale, come back through to center. And then we go to the left. Inhale. Exhale, rotate your chest and this big X around to the left. The beauty of it is your pelvis does not move because you are seated, nice and grounded. Inhale, exhale, center. And again, inhale to lengthen. Exhale, soften, rotate. Inhale, exhale, center. Good. You have a little shake off in the middle. Inhale to lengthen. Shoulders stay down, spine lengthens, exhale, soften, rotate. As you rotate, it'll be compressing a little bit. Inhale here, exhale back through to center. Good. So with our pelvis fixed, we can then take a little look at your knee floats. So like our knee floats on the floor, your pelvis stays quite quiet, sitting bones into your chair, spine stacked on top. Push your left foot into the floor and allow your right leg to float up. That's it. You can relax your arms. They might want to hold on to the side. They might want to keep an eye on what your pelvis is doing and then bring it back down. Push your right foot into the floor. Allow your left leg to float up. And back down. And you continue with this. It doesn't have to go too high. As the left foot goes down, the right leg floats up. Notice it's going above your hip level. So that's your psoas kicking in. As the right foot goes down, the left leg picks up. We want to keep the rest of your spine lovely and long, stacked on top of your sitting bones. So you're not pressing down and picking the leg up whilst you roll back, because that would just mean the rest of your body's picking the leg up and you're shortening at the front. So I'm going to stay nice and long here. Push down, little hover, push down, little hover. So taking out the rest of the body's movement in little rocks and sways and doing 90-90 knee floats here. Press down, stay in both sitting bones. So it changes our relationship with the knee float, and you don't have the floor back behind you. It's not that it's harder or easier, it's just different engagement. The body has to think about it and go a little bit deeper. You take away some of that support. Good. And we're not rocking side to side now. So we can just stay here, push down, pick up, push down, pick up, push down, pick up. Deep abdominal work. You see little things come in. So you see my leg wants to do this. It doesn't have to go as high. Good. And then have a little wriggle off. And again, take a rock through your pelvis, sitting bones, belly button and pubic bone. So really roll on your chair with your bum as much as you want to. That's it. Good. And then we can have a little shake off. Good. So we'll just go through your right shoulder. So we're going to roll the right shoulder back a few times. That's it. And then we're just going to do single arm arcs. So we do these again on the floor. And back down. But we've lost the support of the floor. So we only have the support of our sitting bones and our feet on the floor to organize the rest of the body. So we want to keep the ribs nice and soft. And just take a right arm arc. Thumb still hitchhiking back behind you. Rest of the body staying tall. So just practicing sitting on your sitting bones. That's it. And then you can let that shake out. And then we can roll the left shoulder as much as you want to, having a little check-in. Good. And then again, starting with 4 arm arcs. So I just keep an eye on my rib cage in this side because I like to cheat. So I like to find range where sometimes that isn't there as easy. So you want to make sure your ribs stay lovely and soft, the spine stays nice and tall and long, and that shoulder blade can slide in underneath your armpit. Nice and easy. Great. And then we can have a little shake off here. Nice. So left hand then comes onto your thigh. It could be any way. I tend to turn the fingertips in so this elbow goes out. But if that's picking up your shoulder, slide it away down your knee a little bit more. You see it makes it drop. And then sweep your right arm up towards the ceiling. Inhale here. Exhale, soften, side bend. So we don't have to go as far because we want to keep that right sitting bone in your chair. If you feel that you're kind of picking up and there's no weight into that right glute or buttock, sit back down into it. Widen your feet a little bit, really base yourself and take the side bend. Good. And then we can spring back up. And again, inhale, exhale, soften, fan open through those right ribs. And you can play around. If you narrow your base, you'll notice you won't go as far. It's the same when we do squats. If you widen your base, you'll notice you can go further. And you can lean into that knee if you want to with your forearm and elbow. Good. And then come back up. Release the right arm down. Have a little shake off there. Feet can come back into parallel. Right hand on the right knee, left arm sweeps forward, arm arc. Inhale here, exhale, soften, side bend. So I'm not going this far on this side at the moment. Good. I'm going to say trapeze injury. That sounds way more impressive. Good. And then come back up. Feel free to explore it a little bit wider for stability. So you increase surface contact area and then opening up to the side. So the ribs stay soft, sitting bones stay stacked. And your focus then is just on this lateral flexion, little pinky finger reaching away, palm down. Good. And then come back up through to center. Have a little shake up there. Taking it into rotation. So the hands come forward like you're holding a big box. And you're still sat middle of your chair, sitting bones nice and tall, all these easy angles for the joints, feet in parallel, arms are out. Your right elbow is going to draw back, bow and arrow style. You're going to follow the elbow, follow the right thumb, and almost reach your left fingertips forward a little bit more. Good. We can unfold the right arm back behind you. So unfold at the elbow. Reach your right arm back into the space. That's it. So you've got a big yawn. Good. And then you can just let it sweep close like you're swinging a gate closed. It comes across the side, around the side of you, and to the front. Let's go again on that right side. Draw the right elbow back. Again, your pelvis can't move because you're seated into it. Your knees can't shift. Bow and arrow style, but reach your left fingertips forward even more. That's it. Open up and then close the gate. Fabulous. Left fingertips reach back, left elbow. You're turning your chest, but you're keeping your pelvis quite fixed. You know, unbeknown to us because of the chair, unfold that left elbow. Good. And then swing the gate closed. And again, draw the left elbow back. Almost reach your right fingertips to me a little bit more. That's it. Open up with the left elbow. And then close the gate. Let your arms soften and drop. Good. And we're going to add on a variation of that once we check your roll down. So just see how this feels. You're still sat on your chair. Swivel around. We're going to inhale to lengthen. Hands come onto the knees. And we're taking a roll down in your chair. So we don't want to drop back. You want to imagine you're peeling yourself off a wall. Soften your chin to your chest. Slide your breastbone, roll your ribs. Forward folding as much as you want to. You can get the shins, and then you could come back up. You might continue to walk to ankles, over the toes, if it's comfortable, to lay your chest on your thighs. And relax your head, if you can. And then you stand into your feet. You're not getting up, but as your feet go down, you can turn your pelvis back into the chair, get your sitting bones into the chair, and stack your spine all the way up. So the initiation is always from our feet, even when we roll down. That's it. So we inhale to lengthen. Exhale, soften the chin to the chest. Slide the breastbone, roll the ribs. Hands can just feed down over your knees, over your shin. And this might be as far as you want to go, or you feel you can go a little bit more. As far as you want, maybe even to rest your whole chest onto your thighs. And then we stand into the feet. We feel your sitting bones, your bottom get back into the chair, turning the pelvis, sitting bones go down, and the spine can stack all the way up on top. Then we want to add that to your effectively seated book opening, which is what this is. When the arm is back there, we're going to then reach it up overhead. And if it's your right arm, it can come across your body, almost to your left knee. You can kind of soften into center and unroll up through center. So you're just going to be taking the fascia of your latissimus dorsi a little bit further. So the arms swing forward. The right elbow draws back, left fingertips reach forward, bow and arrow style. Turn your chest, turn your gaze to the right. Unfold the right arm back behind you on that back diagonal. And then start to reach the right arm up overhead. Really reach through, extended arm. Go across to the left knee. Don't worry about the left arm, it kind of gets in the way. Let yourself soften into the middle. Stand into your feet and unroll, unravel all the way up. So it's really gentle yawn of your left. Fingertips come forward. We do left elbow back. Left elbow, left thumb, draw that bow and arrow back. Reach your right fingertips forward. Unfold in the left elbow, reaching back on that left back diagonal. And then send your right arm up and over, carving, arcing, almost towards your right knee. There's no exact science with this. Soften into the middle and unroll, unravel all the way up to seated. We go again on either side because it's the repetition which helps that fascia open. Arms sweep forward. Right elbow back, left fingertips forward. So the pelvis stays quiet. We get this lovely rotation in your chest. Unfold the right elbow, reach the right fingertips back behind you, and then yawn it, arc it, reach it up overhead. You can go as far as this. You can almost reach, my left arm tends to reach in some sort of different direction, unbeknown to me, into your roll down position. And then you're seated as you unfurl any little extras you need. Last time, left elbow draws back. Left elbow, left hand, right fingertips forward. Enjoy the twist, unfold, reach back, and then carve it, arc it up overhead. Cut across to that right knee. Yawn and into center. Unroll, unravel, all the way up to standing. So we're going to then take our focus to our legs, but we're just going to do a sit to stand because sometimes sitting, I don't know, I can't sit for very long. So our feet are in parallel. We hip hinge forward fold. So we get up out of our chair without using anything around us. We hip hinge a little bit. So we just fold here, but our spine stays lovely and long. As your feet go down into the floor, your head goes up. So your feet go down and your head goes up and you come to standing. That's it, yeah, without using our armchair or desk or anything like that. And the same thing happens to come back down to seated. So we bend in the knees and our sitting bones open. Your spine actually stays long. It doesn't round. Neither does it arch because you'll come into restriction. So it stays lovely and neutral. Put your fingertips forward, open your sitting bones, and soften into your chair. That's it. But Tish, if you keep your gaze forward a little bit, you have to trust the chair isn't going to move on you. Because once you change your head, you change your spine. And you see this as we get up in and out of chairs. And as we sit down, we kind of do this. So we want to be in and out of the chair. We want to squat like pros. This is what this is. So we're just hip hinging forward fold. You've got a lovely neutral spine, like when you're on tabletop. Think about the feet going down and the crown of your head pressing the ceiling away. So you've got two opposite forces. And your hip flexors open. Yeah. But then the same thing's happening. It's almost like you're keeping the floor and the ceiling away from each other. You open your sitting bones, your spine stays long, and you're trying to just balance the ceiling away from the chair. And how low the chair is. Well done. So you call this your good sit to stand strategy. So it's often the first assessment I do in a one-to-one. So I watch how people get in and out of a chair. And it can be really easy because without the chair, it's your squats. We're just going to have a little shake off. So come up and stand again, hip hinge forward fold, feet go down, head goes up. Yeah, nice. And then once you have it, you can just double check if your knees do a little Elvis impersonation and things like that. And you can play with ball and band in between the thighs, which is another day. So just have a little shake off, have a little pad through. We're going to come back down onto your chair and talk to your hamstrings, your knees, and your hip flexors. So our feet are in parallel. We're just going to bend and soften in the knees and check our half squat. Mine's always really small. It doesn't change. Sometimes if I work on it. And then lengthen. And maybe then come up onto the balls of the feet and just double check balance, stability, what's going on. And soften the heels down. Good. Have a little pad out on the squat and just notice how the sides of the body are feeling. We've done a little bit of waking up. Good. And then come back in front of your chair again. Reach the fingertips forward. Open the sitting bones. Let your sitting bones open. And lower yourself down into your chair. Yeah, great. So we move into a little bit of ease for the knees. So the first thing we'll do is we'll talk to the back of your hamstrings. And I'll just come on a little diagonal every so often. So again, you're still sat on your sitting bones, nice and tall. Left foot stays where it is, directly in underneath your knee, but your right foot slides forward a little bit. Half a foot, maybe a little bit more. Good. And again, you're just coming into this hip hinge. So all I want us to do is hip hinge, lovely and long, and then back up. So your weight can come predominantly more onto the left knee. You're not really weight bearing. It's into both feet, and you may not feel anything. So at the moment, your right foot is slightly forward, and you're hip hinging. Now what this is doing is it's asking your backline fascia to come with you. So your hamstring is getting a little yawn because it comes all the way and attaches up into here. You're not feeling anything. That's great. I am. Slide your right leg away a little bit more. Keep your left foot where it is. You're one long spine. So when in doubt, stick your bum and your chest more out. Stay neutral because we'll often round. And again, you hip hinge. That's it. You're just forward folding at the hip. Nothing else is going on. Keep your head and your eye line long. Weight can come onto your left thigh a little bit, or both hands can to support you. But you want to start to see, do you start to feel this in the back of the right leg? You're not feeling it yet. I'm a bit jealous. Good. Lengthen your leg out straight. Right leg out straight. Rested foot. Quite a lazy, relaxed leg. Let's not get it involved. Left foot's there to support you. So are two sitting bones. Hip hinge. Hopefully we're starting to feel it a little bit more now. Send your gaze and your chest forward. When in doubt, stick your boobs more out for me. Good. And if you're not feeling that, then you've got great hamstrings. Can you flex in the right heel? Toes up towards the ceiling. Hip hinge, forward fold. So all that's happening is you're hinging here and letting your whole spine come forward. But we know the fascia from your foot is attached to the back of your head. And so this whole line is going, okay, great. So that's it, chest out. It beats doing it standing, and you get a bit more into it because the rest of the body is supported by the chair. So you've got 4 extra legs helping you. Good, lovely. And then bring it back in. Have a little shake off there and come to stand. Hip hinge, forward fold. Feet go down, head goes up. And just come and check in how the right leg feels, back of the right leg feels over the left. So you're just having a little wriggle out. You can have a little walk on the spot. It may not be hamstrings for you that need the TLC, but we'll talk to other areas. But you want your body to process this. Was that nice? Did that work? Etc. And then we come to sit back down to do your left leg. So I'm going to stay side on. Crease and fold. You're practicing your perfect squat. To sit. Nice, feet are in parallel. Left foot slides forward just a little bit. That's it. And we start slow and we hip hinge, forward fold. Now the feet are pretty weighted. The sitting bones end up going back behind you, then they come into the chair. And you're just checking. You may not feel anything here, but you have to prep it. Like when we do the psoas release. You don't feel anything until we get really extended leg. Okay. Nice. Then we can start to inch the right toes further away. So we're a full foot length away now. Hip hinge, forward fold. So, oh, I start to feel that. You're just checking in. That's it. Your rest of your body's doing lovely and straight. I kind of cut my hands into my hip flexors like a little reminder that I'm supposed to be hip hinging. Or else I kind of just do this. That's it. And then you can take your left foot a little bit further away. It might be fully lengthening out. It may not lengthen out at all on one side over the other. Don't worry about that. You keep a soft micro bend, you will feel it. So this one's going to stay in a micro bend for me, but I can feel that straight away. You're taking your time and you're moving in and off of it. Your weight is supported by the chair, so you're not weight bearing into that leg. And you're allowing the hamstring fibers to slide together and slide apart. So they slide apart here, then they slide together. The muscles slide apart, slide together. Do you want to go for a straight leg, maybe the flexed foot? That's about as far as I go in that version. Good. So it might highlight that this hip or this hip flexor and that hamstring needs a bit more TLC, or maybe it was the right leg for you. Stay here all day and it still wouldn't give me much peace. Good. Nice. And then bring that left foot back in, have a little pad out, hip hinge, forward fold, practice your standing. You can probably get rid of the arms now and come up. Just good core control. Nice, and just have a little pad out. Have a little walk. Things you notice now that we've released your hamstring is that your hip flexor, though it's nice and warm, actually opens a bit more. So you stand a bit more level. We might have started this morning a bit like this because our body's trying to figure things out. As we open back line, we get more access to front line as well. So it's easier to stand a bit more stacked over yourself. And that's going to change again when we do the next bit. So we come to sit again, sitting bones open. We've got lovely long hamstrings now. They could hang out here and squat all day into your chair. Nice. All right. So the last thing we're doing for knees and hips here is our ease for the knees. So we're going to start with your left leg, have a little hold of it, and we're just going to let it rock side to side. Now, we're keeping the foot quite fixed, the ankle quite fixed, so you roll on the outside and inside edge, and that's you doing it. Then you want your leg to be quite passive, which is really hard, and you want to see if you can rock it in and out with your hands. So you really want to be kind of maybe middle to end of the chair and seeing if you can try to help it out so it switches off a bit more. No, that's quite tricky, but you're just checking in how that feels. They're quite stubborn. And these muscles, these big global muscles, will always kick in first. That's the issue. That's it. Good. So then we're going to take a hold of the left leg underneath the left knee, and we can pick it up. Now you'll notice your weight will come back a little bit. That makes sense. You're counterbalancing. You want to see if you can let that leg hang. And this can feel really nice. Your hip flexors are a bit tight. So you want to let it hang. And we're going to keep a hold of it if that's comfortable to do so. So you can sit yourself back and adjust this foot wherever it needs to be. That's it. And we're just going to turn your tib fib. So your shin bone and your foot are going to turn in and out. Now you'll feel underneath your hands have a bit of movement, but you're just turning this tibia and fibia in and out without your knee and your hip getting involved. So you're hanging your thigh bone and all the muscles and tendons here that come around your knee. They're relaxing, but you're still turning tib fib. Now your tendons and ligaments go down and attach into this bone as well. Not going, but you're just checking in how this feels. So just want to check your bone rhythms, which are really natural. So if your foot turns in, your tib fib turns out, your femur turns in, your pelvis turns out, to stand, to sit. So they all go in opposite directions. So you stack on top of yourself and don't veer off to the right or left, like the Leaning Tower of Pisa. So it's very small. You're just trying to turn this whole shin bone. Your foot comes along with it. And then have a little shake off and then bring it back down. So already it might feel different. And then you're going to start with the inside of the left thigh and you're brushing out. And you'll notice you just roll on the foot. It's very relaxed. It doesn't have to go very far. This can be a little bit of firm pressure, but only whatever feels comfortable. And this is more, muscles in here, but we'll talk to the connective tissue on the outside. And you're just letting it drop out. Our hips love external rotation, so this is quite nice. This feels quite normal. You might have quite a bit of range. And it's that rock, it's that gentle, everything's switched off. Nice. And then we want to come to the outside and see what it feels like to come from the top of the hip into the knee. And we won't get as much movement. And if you're me, you might have a click. This is internal rotation. So this is sitting in your Z sit that way. But what you can do with this connective tissue of your IT band is you can get your hand into a little bit of a fist, get your knuckles, and you can have a little bit of a rub and shearing whilst you come down. And that might be really interesting. So think about this is all connective tissue. So that your top, your quad slots in here and your hamstrings here. And then you've got this lovely IT band all the way down. So you can have a little scrub of that because that lengthens all the way up into your lower back. So give that a little bit of hydration and then go back to the stroking in. You're rolling on the foot. It's nice and relaxed. Doesn't have to be anything big. It's amazing what difference it can make though. So good. And then we come back through. So we want to check in how that feels. We hip hinge forward fold, feet go down, head goes up. Come to stand and just check how the left hip, knee and foot feels. And they're all small changes, small improvements, but they are there. So some people feel a bit more length because this might be their scrunchier side. Some people find it a bit more ease. They bend in the knees. That left knee only clicks once and not 300 times. It's me. Good. And actually they might notice they get a little bit more in their half squat. So if you bring your weight onto your left leg, kind of in a balance, how does it feel to balance in the left foot? And then how does it feel to balance in the right foot? And depending what's going on, you'll have little adjustments as the body has old injuries or things it's working through. Then we come back down to sit. Again, open sitting bones. Let's cross the arms. So can you notice your weight change? Well done. Good. Better than me. And we take a little look at the right leg. So right leg can move in and out. And what you might notice is it is a little bit easier to do this one now that we've taught the left, or that this one's really like I'm in charge, doesn't want you to lead it. And that can be really interesting to note. So is it gripping a lot? Do you notice a change? Like there's a different feel in one, or there's more resistance in the other? Good. We've got a little rock in and out. And then we take a hold of underneath the right thigh, sorry, and we try to let that right leg hang away. So you're letting this quad switch off, hip flexor switch off, leg drape, and you can sit back a little bit if you want to into your chair. And then we're trying to turn the shin down, in and out. So the foot goes along with it, and you can kind of let that lead a little bit. But can you actually imagine the shin turning in and out, your tib fib? And this is predominantly finding ease for the knees. So you're helping sort of reprogram order into limbs and lower legs. So you'll notice one side is a bit more well behaved than the other, has a bit more range, or you're recovering from stuff. Sit. And then let it hang away, has to hang away. Be really relaxed. And then bring it back down. Now, normally we get in and out of our chair to check every time, but then you can go straight into stroking. Once you kind of know the things that are working for you, doing them every day can make a real impact. Especially things that you can do whilst you're sat in a chair. So you're just checking in, like, what could I do for a few minutes? So how does it feel to brush from inside of the sort of groin and thigh and out, and let the leg just float with you? So let it just drop away. It's really relaxed. Obviously, it could do it itself, but that means in here is working and doing it, your hip flexor. So you're just kind of being like, doesn't matter what it looks like, where it goes, then reason, and then come to the outside and gently stroke in. This being the big winner. So go up to your side body. And again, if you wanted to talk to your IT band, creating a fist, using sort of knuckles, and just having a little shearing, a little scrub, a little rub down. It runs diagonally, the fascia here. So you kind of run your hand diagonally naturally anyway, so don't kind of come straight through. Can't do that in our body. We've got these lovely diagonal angles. Shear, 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 shear. Good. And then you can go again for that gentle stroke in. So you're training internal and external rotation in and out of the car, in and out of the bath. Need all of this to get through. That's it. And then we go sit to stand again. So we hip hinge forward fold, feet go down, hip goes up. More and more organized every time, and we pad out. Okay. Done. Just having a little check in how it feels, how it is to stand, how it feels to half squat. So I've now lost the pain I had in the front of my right ankle, which is great. I've done this exercise. Good. And to lengthen, to come into balance. And lower. To step only into the right leg and let the left float. Now, we just want like 1% increase improvement. If you've got an old injury like me, if you might still be working through things. Nice. Have a little shake out. Okay, we go big. Come and sit down. So, last two exercises we're going to do are for the hip to see how that feels, and then we're going to use the chair when we come onto the floor. So we're going to turn ourselves around to the right. So if you've got the back of your chair, that's pretty handy. We just turn yourself around on your chair to look to the right. So this is where, yeah, the arms of chairs get in the way. Good, well done. Nice. So you're sat on your chair. You can sit all the way back onto it. That's it. So you're kind of parked up at the back end. More of your thigh on the chair this time. And then we shuffle towards the screen. So your left buttock is about to hang off. This is where a back of the chair is good because you can hold on to it. So just be careful. So we've turned to your right. We're back on the chair, and then we've shuffled a little bit to the front end so that we can get our left hip and buttock off it. That's it. So yeah, Tish, really hold on to the back of that chair and just see how that feels. That's it. Yeah, good. Nice. So Jenny, shuffle yourself all the way back. So you're here. Bring yourself back onto it. You've got full bottom and thigh on. And then just shuffle so your left hip is about to fall off a little bit. Sounds a bit weird. Once we get into it, you're all like, what? So ideally, you might have the back of the chair. I tend to hold on to my chair a little bit as I send my left leg off and back behind me. So you'll have a little shuffle. You're then going to slide your left leg and left toes back behind you. Good. And you can relax the toes if comfortable. And you're letting this left hip and thigh really open. Very nice. So the further back you're on your chair, the more supported you are. So Jenny, getting the full of your right underside thigh, belly of the right thigh on the chair, yeah, the more stable you are. Good. So Tish, well done. So you're sitting lovely and tall. If you've got the back of the chair, you can turn around and hold on to it and put yourself into a big deep twist. Yeah. For us on a stool, I'll just show you. We can still turn around and just hold the back of your stool. So just go back over your shoulder and just hold the back of your stool. That's it. And we're just coming into a twist. We've got this lovely open left hip. Your left knee is hanging away as much as feels comfortable. Nice. And then bring yourself back around to look to the right. Your weight will need to come into your right hip to get that left leg forward. Good. And then we shuffle back through to center. So it's a nice big hip opener. Well done. And it's all within your safe range because the leg is just going directly underneath you like you would when you stand. So we turn around to the left. Sit full of bottom and thighs onto the chair. Drop the right leg, right hip, right buttock off. Now let's have a little shuffle through. Good. Sending it back as far as you want to. So, oh, mine doesn't want to go that far. So you can play around with it. You can stay on tucked toes and let the leg have a little bounce. If it's comfortable to be in plantar flexion, but just notice that's going to be yawning open your front line. So you might feel that in your knee. Once you're in a happier position here, you can then start to turn and take a look over your left shoulder to the back of your room. Either holding on to the top of your chair or bringing your fingertips either side of your stool at the back. Big deep twist, lovely hip opener. And then bring your head and your shoulders back through. Slide this right leg to join the left. Good. And have a little shake up in the middle. Nice. We hip hinge forward fold to come to stand. Oh, and have a little shake out. Good work. Nice. So, good stable seat, good stable chair. How do you feel? You can change your chair if you want to. Tissue should be fine. We just want to see how this feels. And if it's too high, we'll take it out. So you're going to come to stand to the right side of your chair. So your chair, the seat of your chair is to the left. And you can turn it whatever way works for you. Nice. And I've put myself in a Pilates V because that kind of gets me prepped. Okay. If you've got a back of the chair, you can hold on to it as well. And stay near a wall. What we're going to do is see what it feels like to bring left foot up. If this is too high, let me know. Tish. Okay. Good. Nice. So all we're doing is just taking a little yawn. So you can wriggle this right leg away a little bit. Your feet are both in external rotation. So they're on these little diagonals. And you're leaning into it as much as you want. Now you do want your heel down onto your chair as much as possible. and it wants to stay down. So be careful of coming up. I have a 75-year-old client who loves this exercise, but she's always like, goes further than needed. So keep your heel down for stability and only go as far as the body wants to explore, but you're in external rotation. And it won't be this leg that needs to move. You can shuffle this leg further if you want to. That's it. So your knee is above your hip, Tish. So just checking in how that feels in external rotation. Good. Nice. Now we stay a little bit knee over ankle. So there's a little bit of a yawn. So come back to, yeah, that's it, Jenny, a tiny bit. Bring your left forearm down onto your knee and your thigh and sweep your right arm up and go for a lovely yawning side bend. So be careful of turning your body. Open your chest to me. Good work. Nice. Good. And then we sweep up and have a little relax. You can let that leg lengthen. Not locking out. You can stay some micro bend. Mine often does. But some of you might want to just have a little shake off. Go again. Step into it. Right arm picks up. And over. And now you can shine your breastbone down towards the floor. Take a little bit of rotation. Only in your chest. Keep that hip open. Right hip open. Right foot planted. Open up to face front. Come back up to standing. Here's our big trick. So we want to stand into our right leg and see what it feels like just to pick your left foot up and off. And pad out. Nice. Switching through to the other side. Oh, I haven't done that exercise in a while. Everybody okay? Good. So that's the reason we have to keep the heel down, to keep the stool fixed. We can come into our Pilates V. You're usually at the back leg of your chair, but you're playing around with it a little bit. And you don't know your distance until you get your foot onto the chair. Those diagonal lines, it's still a Pilates V. Full heel down. Make sure your full foot is on the middle of that seat of that chair. So you've got the weight bearing into it. And then you just start the gentle rocking. And I just want to take that left leg out a little bit. So your left leg is back a little bit, which is naturally how it is. Yeah, good. And how does this side feel? Hips stay open, we crease and fold, we yawn into it. Spine stays tall and long. Nice. And the weight's going down into the foot. You're not easing over the toes. Keep that heel down, like when you're in a ski boot and your heel has to go back. You get this lovely deep dorsiflexion. That's what you want. Imagine your foot widening in both directions. It's growing long. That'll give you way more stability. Nice. We can ease off a little bit. So the knee just needs to be over the ankle. The right forearm and elbow can come down into the right thigh. You can pick the left arm up and take a lovely yawn through the left side of the body. This side might feel different. All sorts of interesting things going on. That might just be me. Good. Reaching fingertips. And you're standing into the left foot as much as you're reaching with the left fingertips. So it's like both ends are reaching away. And then come to lengthen. Have a little shake off if you want to. Come back into it one more time to add rotation. Fan open through the left ribs. And then exhale, soften and shine your breastbone down towards the floor. And it is just your breastbone because you have to keep your left knee over your toes, your left hip opening. You're not rolling in on your knee. So it's very small. From the pelvis down, stays put. Good. Open up. Come all the way through to standing. Weight into left leg. Right leg comes off. One side always easier than the other. Have a little pad out. Well done. Have a little shake out. So then we're just going to come to the floor and we need your chair. And if you need your mat, you can bring it out as well. It can kind of be folded or you can place your chair onto your mat, whatever feels more comfortable. You can be all the way to the end, just about in shot. Nice. And we're going to come to lie down and rest your legs on your chair. So if you've got the back of a chair, turn it so the back of the chair is facing you. So turn the chair around to fully face you and the back end of your chair is here. Come and have a little lie down. So you kind of shuffle your bum quite close. Lie yourself down, bring your head cushion with you, just for comfort, and then rest your legs up onto your chair. Nice. Good, and have a little shuffle here. Wriggle around, we're going to move a little bit. So we're just checking in. Nice. Good. Lovely. Great. So now here we are, finally on the floor at the end of the class. Having a little shake off. So we might just have back of the legs or back of the ankles on. So what we can do is just shuffle ourselves a little bit closer to the chair. Depends on its height, and get pretty much the whole back of the calf on there, which feels great. Now, depending obviously on the length of your femurs, you might be hanging a little bit off the floor. Great, arms can be low and wide. We can take a few big deep breaths here. We're trying to let our legs be fully supported by the chair. So they might want to sort of flop out a little bit. That's okay. Just letting them relax here. Inhaling in through the nose, exhale, soften, sigh out through the mouth. So although we're letting all the skin and the fascia and the muscles sink and soften down towards our hips, the fact that our legs are held up a little bit almost feels like the thigh bone can't drop into the socket. So keeping the thigh bone out, but we're letting all of the fascia, the muscles, tendons, ligaments, hang, drape, relax, soften. Lovely. We're going to gently interlace our hands back behind our head and gather our heavy head. And just take a chest lift here. You'll notice you'll want to organize your legs into parallel. It's not like they kick in, but the body just understands this position. Has parallel legs wherever we are. Heavy head in our hands, we're going to inhale, prepare, and exhale, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs, and curl up to take a peek at our knees. The beauty of our thigh bones not being into our pelvis stays really neutral. Inhale here, exhale, soften, lay yourself all the way back down. Get as much length in the back of the chest as you can. Inhale. Exhale, soften, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs, bring the heavy head with you. Well done. Inhale here, exhale, lay yourself all the way back down. One more time like this. Inhale, prepare. Exhale, soften, slide the breastbone, roll the ribs, curl up to take a peek at the knees. Inhaling into the back of you. Exhale, soften, lay yourself all the way back down. A little shake off here. Feel free to take your arms into a toy soldier march if you've got a bit of room. Just noticing what our marks feel like with the floor back behind us again. Nice, and then both arms come back down by our side. So we then need to shuffle ourselves back up our mat again, just to come mid-calf, ankle and foot onto the chair, so you can have a little shuffle. Really graceful. And take any head cushions out from underneath your head. We're going to explore a bridge. That's it. So you want to bring your feet into the middle of your chair. You'll feel a little bit of flexion in your feet, like you're kicking into your heels. Press the backs of your heels and your ankles into the chair. Notice you can hover your bum just by pressing down into the chair with your feet, and then release your bottom to the floor. So you press the back of your feet, your ankles, into the chair, and you notice you can hover your bum once you grip, and then lower back down. But when we bridge, we want to peel ourselves up and we press into our feet into the floor. So we want that same sensation here. So you need to have 90-90 legs. That's it, arms low and wide. So if you've got too much of your leg on, you'll come into a nice long bridge, which is fine. That's it. So we've got 90-90 legs, slightly flexed feet. They're kind of ready to roll. Inhale here, exhale, press down into the heels, into the feet. Peel your spine up off the mat and notice you'll be sending your toes more into the chair. They mightn't touch the chair, but you're coming up into a bridge. Inhale here, exhale, lay yourself down through your ribs, your mid, Your lower back, sitting bones come into the floor. Have a little shake off. Your hamstrings kick in pretty quick. So you can walk yourself a little bit more into the middle of your chair. 90-90 legs, inhale. Exhale, feet go down as they normally do, back to the heels. Tilt the pelvis, peel yourself up. Start to reach those toes and those knees away from you. Inhale at the top. Exhale, lay yourself all the way back down through your ribs, your mid, your lower back, sitting bones open. Relax the legs, let them shake out. As we change where the floor is, it's a harder engagement for your back line. Have a little wriggle. Nice. All right, so then from here, you can curl around to one side, which helps you get your legs off your chair. Oh, nice. And come up to seated. And if comfortable, we're just going to finish with 2 exercises, one in all fours. Forearms on the seat of your chair. Pad your knees as much as you want to. So you could double fold your mat here if you need it. So we want our shoulders over our elbows and our hips over our knees. So there's a little wriggle. Our spine stays pretty neutral. I've kind of got triangular arms and forearms and elbows. I interlace my fingers. They play around a little bit. I'm going to press the chair and the floor away to round your spine. So you come into a bit of a cat stretch. And then open sitting bones. Send your chest, your collarbones, and your sitting bones back behind you. That's it. Press down into the floor, into the chair, round your spine. Open the sitting bones, allow your spine to undulate through. We're also going to do this standing with the chair. Go one more time. The exercise. And again, open. Good, and then come to neutral spine as much as we think, that sort of long tabletop position in our spine. That's it. Good. So we're going to keep your right elbow and forearm down onto the chair. Bring your left hand back behind your head. Your elbow drops down a little bit towards the chair. Good. Pushing into the chair with your right arm, can you send your left elbow up towards the ceiling? Press your head back into your hand into your head and open up. Good, and then exhale, soften, rotate back down. Go one more time, press the right forearm into the chair, let the left elbow open up, thoracic rotation, but without anything else cheating. Good, and then close back down. Left arm comes onto the chair, right hand goes back behind the back of your head. Sit. Head into hand, hand into head. As you push the left forearm down, can you open and rotate the right elbow up? And close. Good, we're pressing down to open and rotate. Right elbow up. Good, and close. Fine. We can come up onto high kneeling. The chair is in front of us. If you wanted to, you could tuck your toes and come straight up to standing. So you can have a little press back like a downward dog. I would then walk the feet towards the chair a little bit. If you've gone for that, then keep your hands either side of your chair. Sit, hold on to either end, either side, nice and wide. And press the floor away and do a cat-5 wriggle here. When you open your sitting bones, you now have to bend your knees. That's it. And then when you press away, your legs will lengthen, but they may not even go straight. You don't need to lock them out. Rounding the spine, standing, arching the spine, rounding the spine, extending, arching the spine. Good. We stay in flexion, round your spine. Walk your feet in a little bit more. And then release your weight from the chair back into your legs as you unroll, unravel, all the way up. Keep standing. Have a little shake out. Different sensations with the chair. So we're just going to inhale, shrug your shoulders up. Exhale, soften and sigh them down. Inhale. Exhale, soften. One more time. Inhale. Exhale. Good work, guys. Well done for following. Always a bit tricky with a new prop. But it's good to keep the body quiet in other areas. That's why we like it.